I'm not surprised about the murder for hire. I'm just surprised that they have connected him and in the way that they did. Ooh, this just might be the end for Durkio. What's up, y'all? It's your girl B Octavia, and I am back with another video. Now, today we will have to talk about Lil Durk. But before we do, let me just introduce myself to those who may not know me. My name is B Octavia. I'm from Washington, D.C., and I'm 27, almost 28, November 30th. So save the date. With all of that being said, let's jump right into this video because we have so much to cover, and then I gotta talk my shit after that. Grammy award winning rapper and Chicago native Lil Durk was arrested in Florida last week, really a few days ago. He was charged with murder for hire after the U.S. District Attorney in Los Angeles filed an indictment which has not been released to the public yet. Before Lil Durk, real name Dirk Banks, was arrested, news hit that 5 other people were arrested and charged with federal murder for hire. The alleged murder that these 5 men were hired to do was to kill Quando Rondo. Quando Rondo's death was supposed to be in retaliation for King Von's murder, which, if you guys recall, November 2020, he was gunned down after him and Quando Rondo was fighting. King Von was whooping ass. Quando Rondo's buddy was on the side and started shooting, striking King Von fatally. The drill in question within this murder for hire went down August 19th of 2022. And instead of killing Quando, this group of 5 men ended up striking and killing Quando's cousin, Lil Pab. Court documents revealed that a OTF member, which stands for Only the Family, snitched on Lil Durk. Shockingly, Jam turned into jelly because he was not just wearing a wire to pick up info about this murder for hire plot. He was wearing a wire for years. OTF Jam was released from prison in 2022 after serving 12 years for attempt murder. And how ironic is it that he did 12 years for that attempt murder, and yet again, in that very same year in 2022 as he was released, he couldn't even hit the target a fucking again. If I was Lil Durk, I wouldn't have fucked with him just because of that. You can't even hit the right target. The fuck are we really doing here? Killed somebody, and of course, Lil Durk was able to play off of Quando's pain and him losing his cousin in that way. I mean, you could tell from the video that was captured that Quando was really hurt, and he wasn't thinking about any of the bullshit that happened. He wasn't thinking about King Von. He wasn't thinking about none of that shit. He thinking about his family, that they was just having a conversation and now they can't do that no more. Quando on video saying no. Lil Durk ended up using that in quite a few songs and referring to it and things like that. I feel like he told on himself in that moment, being so happy about that when Lil Durk has went through the same thing. Maybe not in the same scenario of your nigga being in a car with you and he died. He's felt the same pain. So I knew that it had to be him laughing at Quando's pain because he caused it. According to the indictment, coordinated the murder plot and discussed payment after the attempt went down. That same day on tape, the feds were able to hear the OTF associates booking flights with credit cards that were only to be used for these members to get to LA and then back to Chicago. These credit card transactions, as well as the informant OTF Jam, as well as the recordings that the informant OTF Jam provided, played a key role in linking and charging Dirk Banks, aka Lil Durk, to the murder for hire plan. Within the plan and recorded conversation, Lil Durk offered these men music industry opportunities and cash rewards for killing Quando Rondo. Now that we have all of the specific details out the way, of course, it's more to come. But I want to say this. I have been a Durk fan since This Ain't What You Want. And I'd be the first to say that Lil Durk taking the toxic route as King Von started in was his demise. Him talking so much, like I remember when he would just say the ops and not get so specific about who the ops was. It was certain things that he did back then that if he would have kept that going, he wouldn't have had his problem now. But the fact that he talked so toxically about enemies and said their names and referred to specific things that have happened, it buried him. On top of recordings and an informant that was an OTF member way before he was an informant, somebody from the inside, it's over. It ain't no more OTF because OTF Jam's only family is the police at this point. That's your only family once you choose to turn into an informant. Now, I was thinking about this last night because I was thinking about the fact that in the murder of FBG Duck, the only reason why Lil Durk wasn't tied to that as well was because nobody involved mentioned him as being a co-conspirator, as being a person who paid for it all. Nobody mentioned him. And a lot of people, including myself, think that's solid, you know, even though if it was the same 5 men that was involved in this Quando Rondo Lil Pab situation, they would have been had Lil Durk locked up. It's not going to be as easy for Lil Durk to get out of this. I remember when he turned himself in for things that he's done. But in this scenario, he was actually trying to get a flight to Italy, you know, once he got word that he was about to be arrested. This is way different from the charge that he caught with King Von as well. King Von passing away did a huge positive for Lil Durk to be free for as long as he has prior to this arrest. When your co-defendant dies, it's really nothing that the state can do. I'm sure sometimes they do, but in this case, they dropped it, and here we are. I recall in many Lil Durk songs of him saying, you know, they trying to do me like my pops. His pops got arrested way back when. Folks snitched on him, so he got life in prison, and of course things were reversed and reduced and he is out now. But it's so crazy how his father is out now and now he's in doing a huge bid, possibly. I doubt if they give bail to people who have these type of charges. Lil Durk has quite a few children, so like as a fan, I am disappointed. I can't say that I'm surprised that it's this specific situation. I think that Lil Durk was desperate to prove a point. I do think that it was peer pressure as well, but at the same time, I think that he was too concerned about proving a point that he has so much power and he can get you touched, instead of thinking that, you know, karma has its way of ironing shit out. And Quando is doing a bid right now for like federal drugs, something. So all Lil Durk had to do was wait and see what was going to happen and not be involved with making it happen sooner. Whether Quando was in jail or dead, he can't provide for his family. I think that when you let nature take its course, you let karma take its course, you won't act so impulsively. A lot of people want you to prove a point, but for you to be in the planning and execution, no pun intended, of certain situations, it just didn't need to happen. It didn't need to happen. And like I said, whoever shot was a horrible shot. And sometimes it doesn't matter. Like in a hit, it doesn't matter who gets hit that is close to that person. But horrible shot. They would have got extra money for actually killing the right person. and they couldn't do that. This, with the recordings that they have, with the amount of evidence that they have already, it's just not looking good. And I could feel bad for, you know, the kids missing out on a father, but out of all the things that he's done, he really should have thought about that. Like, we can't keep sympathizing when motherfuckers be out doing shit that they would probably do back in the day, but back in the day, you ain't have all them fucking kids. It's time to make better decisions, because you wouldn't want to stress about your child being locked up, and it's gonna be your child no matter how old they is. He probably stressing his mother the fuck out. So only time will tell. Of course, Lil Durk, being a Grammy Award winning artist, he has the money for really good lawyers. This trial right here, I mean, we gonna have Diddy trial May 2025. We finna have Abercrombie and Fitch dude trial on the way. And now Lil Durk's trial. After we just got done with R. Kelly not too long ago. This is crazy. This shit is insane. 2025 is going to be a blessing for the ones that stay out the way, and for the ones that do right by people and live a clean life and just fucking a good ass person. It's going to be a blessing. But for the people that been doing foul stuff, you better get right. You better get right. Because I'm telling you, I wouldn't want to be y'all. Alright? Alright. I will see y'all in my next video. Of course, I will be updating you guys along the way of the things that I hear and the things that I see. But until then, let me be.